Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today at the RMA Toronto. My name is Stella Cabrera. I'm the president here. And today we're going to talk to Graham Davies. Graham, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Stella.
We thought we'd start off with, kind of getting to know a little bit about, your area, what you're excited about in your job right now, and also what you think about risk in general.
It's my area right now. I'm lead the environment and social risk management team at the bank, and so really what I like about risk management is the evolving nature of it. I find that no 2 days are the same, and that there are sort of always new challenges to address in the space of risk. I like these emerging risk areas, the things that are sort of non-traditional, typically in nature. There's less perhaps guidance around about them, and you really need to get creative and work with industry partners and partners across the bank to think about ways to proactively identify and manage those risks. Classic examples right now are things like climate change, things like operational resilience. Many of these areas span risk types, so they might touch credit or operational risk or reputational risk, and span businesses as well. So what I really like to do is sort of sit in the center and pull the pieces together and tell that story of how we can manage the risk, what we need to do to build capabilities to manage the risk. I think that to me is sort of what risk is about right now. It's enabling organizations to look ahead and proactively plan for things that could go wrong, but also striking a balance. I think many risk decisions, there's pluses and minuses to doing transactions and to not doing transactions, and risk is really about weighing the risks on both sides. I like the use of judgment, the use of critical thinking and problem solving. I think those are all critical success factors in the space of risk management.
For sure. And one of the things I love you brought up was around creativity, right? You talk about being creative since there aren't any guidelines. And I think that's one of the things most risk managers have to develop now. I just wanted to ask you, around what you believe you can bring to the RMA and what you want to do now that you've joined the board.
Yeah, so I think from an RMA perspective, I think there's a couple of great opportunities that immediately jump to mind for me. One is providing that forum for people to connect with their peers at other organizations, roundtables or other industry events. I think where we are right now is so difficult to make a real connection with people, and I think especially outside your organization. And I think the RMA offers a tremendous opportunity to do that for members to sort of connect with their peers and have those relationships. And then even just thinking about the perspective of various risk topics. I mentioned the evolving nature of risk. Even traditional risk areas, given the pandemic, we're learning all sorts of new things about them, even in spaces like credit risk and other financial risk areas. And I think there's a real value in having those conversations and being able to talk with your industry peers on those conversations.
Well, we're very excited to have you on board. I have one last question. If you were a punctuation, what would you be?
I've never actually heard this question before. So it's a good one. And for me personally, I would say probably a question mark. I do tend to think about, future scenarios, potential future outcomes, and sort of ask the question, what would you do if that, and are you prepared in various different scenarios? And to me, that's how I approach risk management, is really, looking at situation and asking questions about it and really thinking about, the second and third order impact and the future outcomes that as they could play out.